As-salamu Aleikum and welcome back to Deen and Chai. For the first time, I actually have my chai. So it's been a while and I apologize. It's been a very hectic last couple of months. But anyways, if you are new to Deen and Chai, welcome. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I try to make weekly videos about things related to Deen in a very relaxed, conversational way, which is why it's called the Deen and Chai. So grab your chai, your tea, your coffee, and let's talk, inshallah. So today we're going to do a tafsir video, and the tafsir is going to be on Surah Al-Humaza. This surah is considered to be one of the earliest surahs revealed in Mecca. Some scholars believe it to be revealed in connection with certain Arabs who were known to make fun of the Prophet ﷺ and backbite and gossip about him and say negative things. It's also believed to be generally applicable to people who carry the characteristics that are mentioned in this surah. So what are these characteristics? Let's get right into the first ayah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل لكل همزة لمزة.
So the first word wail is roughly translated as curse or destruction upon someone. It's a very strong word used where Allah is promising destruction upon this individual. Who is this individual? لكل, every, humaza, lumaza. So what is humaza, lumaza? What do these two words mean? Firstly, the structure that these two words are in, humaza and lumaza, indicate that this is something that happens again and again, continuously. This is something that someone does again and again. So what is it that is happening consistently? There are slightly differing opinions on this. So some scholars say humaza means doing something behind someone's back, while lumaza is doing it in front of that person's face. Others say that humaza is more of backbiting, while lumaza is fault finding. So finding faults and flaws in people and picking on them and pointing them out and so on. Other scholars say humaza are actions or gestures done with the hands and eyes, etc., while lumaza is actions done by the tongue, so the things you say to or behind someone. So these are the slightly differing opinions, but at the end of the day, they all allude to the same thing, which is insulting others, backbiting, making fun, talking behind someone's back or to their face. All of these negative things done to hurt someone or insult someone, whether in front of their face or behind their face, all falls under humaza, lumaza. So Allah is cursing this type of person. And this is something that's wasn't just prevalent at the time of the Prophet ﷺ with the Arabs who were against his message. This is something we still see happening today, and sadly even within our own community. Brothers and sisters in the Muslim community talking behind each other's backs, making fun of each other, disgracing each other. It's very sad. And sometimes we think that we are doing it for a good cause. For example, maybe we see a girl who has taken off her hijab. We think that we have the right to go on her latest Instagram post or social media post and publicly shame her and insult her and let her know how disappointed we are and so on, and then also go behind her back and talk to our friends about her and gossip some more and backbite. And so on, and we convince ourselves that we are doing it for the sake of that person and in the name of religion. What religion? The best example that we have to follow is the Prophet ﷺ. At what point did he belittle someone or insult someone or backbite or gossip about someone? Even his enemies who insulted him, made fun of him, called him names, he didn't call them names back. He didn't start throwing insults back at them. But yet, we think we're better and we know better. People would come to the Prophet ﷺ with all kinds of problems. They would come to him with issues that they had, things they were struggling with, even sins that they were committing. And they kept coming back to him. Why? Because he never belittled them. He never made fun of them. He never insulted them. He was the opposite. He was a source of encouragement for them, a source of inspiration, a source of kindness, understanding. That's what he was, and that's what we should strive to be. That is the best example that we have. So we have to continuously check ourselves, the things that we do, the things that we say. We have to be very careful and aware. We should not judge others. We shouldn't think that we're better than them. That person that you're judging might be doing something in secret that raises them ranks above you with Allah. So focus on yourself, humble yourself. Let's try to, inshallah, work towards not being one of these people that is described in this ayah, humaza, lumaza. And what makes someone humaza, lumaza is thinking that they are better than others somehow. So there's some arrogance involved. And one of the things that can lead to this arrogance is wealth, which is mentioned in the second ayah that we will now get to.
الذي جمع مالا وعدده.
So we see this ayah talking about wealth. Wealth can make people greedy, stingy, and arrogant. It's jama'a malan, collected money. This is in past tense in Arabic. The one who has collected wealth. And this implies that this person has pretty much spent their lifetime collecting this wealth, collecting and collecting and collecting wealth. وعدده is and counted it, and also implies continuously counting and counting and counting and counting this money. So collecting and collecting for a lifetime, and also counting each bit of it. And عدده can also be and mean or imply and preparing it. So preparing this money for the future, just saving, counting, preparing it for something later in the future. So this is depicting someone who is miserly with their money, someone who's not spending anything, is greedy, doesn't share, is not generous with their money. The word for money used here is malan. This is money in singular form. In Arabic, the plural form is amwal. So money in plural is amwal. But in this ayah, the singular form is used, malan. Why did Allah use the singular term here when we are actually talking about a lot of money? So we would expect the term to be used plural, right? But the singular is used here. Why is that? Because to Allah, this is not a lot of money. To Allah, it's nothing. It's meaningless and it has no benefit. So He's minimizing this money. To that person collecting it, it's so much, and they're greedy. To Allah, it's nothing. It means nothing, and it has no benefit for them later in the Day of Judgment. It will be of no benefit at all.
يحسب أن ماله أخلده.
So he thinks that his wealth will make him immortal. This person is so consumed with collecting more money and hoarding it and saving it and counting it and preparing it. It's as if they are not going to die anytime soon. They have forgotten about death. It doesn't even cross their mind, death. They're just focused on all this collecting money. It doesn't cross their mind. So they feel as if they're immortal.
كلا لينبذن في الحطمة.
كلا, but no. Meaning it's not what he thinks. This person is not immortal. لينبذن في الحطمة. لينبذن means to throw. But not just throw, it's to throw something that really has no value at all. So it's really devaluing this person, no value. So the same way that this person looked down upon others and devalued others and belittled others, they will be belittled and be made to be felt like they're nothing on this day. So it will all come back around to them and they'll be made to feel the same way. And where will they be thrown? في الحطمة, in the حطمة. What is الحطمة? This actually brings us to the next ayah.
وما أدراك ما الحطمة.
And what will make you know what al-hutama is? How would you know what al-hutama is? Al-hutama in Arabic means crusher, something that crushes you. So what is it? What is this thing? Let's go to the next ayah.
نار الله الموقدة.
The fire of Allah, eternally fueled. The fire of Allah. Nowhere in the Quran is this description used. The fire of Allah. This really magnifies the greatness of this fire, because a fire by Allah, associating itself to Allah, is not like any other fire that exists. It's not like anything else. So this really magnifies the greatness and the importance of this fire and the severity of this fire. Let's go to the next ayah.
التي تطلع على الأفئدة
Which leaps up over the hearts. تطلع is to climb up with effort or with pain and mount to the top of something. So it's all the way to the أفئدة. أفئدة, which is plural of fu'ad, means hearts. So it climbs, this fire climbs all the way and crushes all the way to the tops of the hearts. The hearts that carried the arrogance, the greed, and all those different feelings and characteristics, etc.
إنها عليهم مؤصدة
It is on them mu'sada. Mu'sada means to close firmly on them. All doors are locked on them. So there's no escape, there's no exit, there is no relief from this fire.
في عمد ممددة
In pillars stretched forth. So it's said to mean tall, outstretched beams of iron or the like that is part of this structure. Or some others interpret this to actually mean beams, tall, outstretched beams of fire. So this climbing fire is outstretched into tall beams of fire. So this pretty much brings us to the end of this surah. Some takeaway points, inshallah, is that this surah really focuses on the characteristic of arrogance, of greed, thinking that you are better than others, which leads to things like insulting, backbiting, gossiping, slandering, and so on. And we see how important it is to not be in this group of people. Allah directed a whole surah to this group of people. We have to be very conscious on the way we behave, the things that we say, the way we say things, the way we make others feel. This is one of the core characteristics of being a good Muslim, displaying kindness, displaying generosity, displaying compassion. May Allah protect us, inshallah, from these characteristics that include arrogance, greed, backbiting, insulting others, gossiping, and everything else that stems from that, inshallah. I hope, inshallah, you found some benefit from this surah, and inshallah, until next time. As-salamu Aleikum.